So let's make this flower right here. The smallest flower I made was DMC Cordonnet Special. It's number 80 thread, and the hook 0.5 millimeters. And this bigger flower was made with viscose from bamboo and Lydia's. The weight of the thread is 10, number 10, and crochet hook I used here was 1 millimeter. So you see the difference. I will of course use for the video thick thread, bamboo thread, because it is impossible to show it with a small thread. So in order to make this flower, we start with a chain, make 10 stitches, I'm sorry, 7 stitches is enough, and connect this chain with a slip stitch into a ring. The short tail I always put around the ring behind the chain and crochet over this. Crochet into the ring, single crochet stitches. I really don't count how many of them will be here because it does not matter really for this flower. Probably will be 14 or 15 stitches around the chain. So crochet around it, single crochet stitches all the way to close this round. So at the end, when you will finish the single crochet stitches over the chain, this short tail you can remove it, cut it off. You don't need this anymore. And close the ring with a slip stitch. Next round we will crochet again into the edges of the first round, and we will crochet half double crochet stitches. First make a turning chain, chain 1, yarn over, and crochet half double crochet. Next, into the next stitch, crochet 2 half double crochet stitches. And again 1 half double crochet stitches, in the next stitch 2 half double crochet stitches. This way you will evenly increase amount of stitches into the next round, so that your circle will not be or curly or will not look like ruffle. You need flat, round, nicely rounded circle. And continue crochet around, crochet into the edges. So remember, the pattern is easy. One half double crochet into one stitch and 2 half double crochet stitches into the next, and repeat all the way to the beginning where you started the round. And here we are, at the beginning of the round. As usually, we always close the round with slip stitch. And now we are ready to make petals. So first petal, for the first petal, chain 7 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can make 5 stitches only. I always make 7, and I always follow the same pattern. This, for example, I made exactly the same way as the big flower. It's just small because of the thread and the size of the hook. So you made your chain, then insert the hook into the second stitch from the hook. 1, 2. Grab the thread and pull it through and leave it like this. Don't continue, do not crochet anything anymore. After this, we will insert the hook under the chain, grab the thread, bring it to the top, grab the thread one more time and pull it through the stitch. That's it. Leave it like this. Again, hook under the chain, grab the thread, bring it up, grab thread again and pull it through this stitch. And this is the way you continue all the way so that you will cover the whole chain. I do not count how many times I do that. For chain of 7 it will be probably 13, 14 times. So hook under the chain, not into the chain, don't poke it through. Under the chain, grab the thread and bring it up, and then again grab the thread and pull it through the stitch. It's something very similar to Tunisian crochet, only in Tunisian crochet we insert the hook into stitches. So since I'm not counting, I really don't care about counting how many stitches I'm making here, as soon as I covered all chain with the stitches. So this is how it will look like, and on the back it will look like this. The last stitch we make into the same place where the chain came from. Make a stitch, grab the thread and do the same thing. Pull thread through this stitch. Now you have all the stitches right here on the hook. Grab the thread again with the hook and pull this thread through all those stitches together. It should be very easy because stitches are not tight, and your petal, as you see it, curled. You can make it straight and manipulate the size of it, but I like the way it is curled like this. And now you can connect this petal to the ring, skip 2 stitches, and 1 or 2 stitches, depends how many of those petals do you want. If you will skip 1 stitch only and will crochet into the next stitch, you will have more than 5 petals. Actually, you will have 6 petals for this pattern if you will skip 2 stitches. If you will skip only 1, you will end up probably having 8 to 9 petals. So it depends on what you like. So I skip 2 stitches on the round, on the edge of it, and crochet slip stitch into the edge of the flower. This is how you made first petal. The same way, second petal, again crochet chain of 7 stitches. And again, first make stitch, poke the chain through into the second stitch from the hook, and keep this chain. We have 2 stitches on the hook, keep it like this. Now hook under the chain, grab thread and pull the thread up, grab the thread and crochet this stitch, and leave stitch all stitches on the hook, and continue this way. Continue like this all the way to the until you will cover your chain totally with stitches. One more time, and the last stitch into foundation where the chain came from. Pull stitch out, crochet this stitch, and then crochet all stitches together. Skip 2 stitches on the edge of the circle, 1, 2, and into the 3rd stitch crochet slip stitch. So continue this way, crocheting around. And I end up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals. You can leave this flower this way. You can push those petals all together like this and have closed flower bud. You can decorate this flower already with the pearl, and it will be this size of the flower. This flower actually really fun to make because you can make out of one pattern many flowers. You can have another layer with the flower like that. You can crochet and you can have open flower like this one and do not have to decorate with anything. You can decorate this flower with the bubble if you like. Still look pretty. Or with the button. Or like I said, with the pearl. You can keep it open and you can close it. The good thing about this flower that you can give it a shape that you want and it will stay like that. So we have the first layer of petals. Make one more slip stitch and then we will start crocheting the next layer of petals. I like to make them in this way. I move on the back of the flower until the middle of this petal, right in here. You can see where the middle of the petal, where the petal kind of curled into a cocoon. So I crochet all the way to that place, slip stitches. Here it is. So you make a slip stitch right here, and from that place you will make a chain and then connect your next petal next to the middle of the next petal. For the second layer you can make longer chains. Nine, 10, 12. For the second layer I prefer to make 9 stitches, it will be better. And again we will do everything the same way. You crochet first, pull the first stitch from the chain, and then we go around the chain and crochet incomplete stitches. It's almost like crocheting single crochet, but do not finish it. And again the same rule. You can crochet as many stitches as you need to cover chain. completely cover the chain. And don't worry that it's kind of tight in here. They will be very, very tight, those stitches right here. You want it to be tight if you want that petal look really nice. So here I have all the stitches, I covered my chain, and as before I go next, the last stitch I make right into the foundation, next to where, in that place where the chain came from. Crochet this stitch only once, and now again grab the thread and crochet all those stitches as one stitch, and connect this petal behind the first layer right in the middle of the petal of the first layer, and also make slip stitch, and again make the same chain longer, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches. First stitch into the chain, and then just around the chain, incomplete stitches, and crochet next layer of petals. So here they are. Here is my last petal. You connect it, you will have to connect the last petal behind the first petal of the second layer with a slip stitch. Like this, and cut thread. I spliced my stitch somehow. I mean, not the stitch, but the thread. This thread is very tricky, and you don't want to lose that stitch over there. And if you do, you will have to come back, pick up all those stitches if you can. Things like that can happen a lot, and that's what I've got. At least you will see what I did when I made a mistake. So crochet it one more time. Make sure that this all stitches picked up, that you don't need to crochet this again. And it looked like I cannot pick it up. I pick up only half of the stitches, the rest of them somewhere here. Okay, I think I'm fine. Okay, now I'm fine. So again, let's do it one more time. Have to crochet this, all these stitches together, and now connect the last petal right behind, not the first layer, but the last petal you connect behind the first petal of the second round with the slip stitch, and chain one to secure all this. Pull thread, make sure that the tail is long enough, and weave inside, but do not weave into petals. You don't want to ruin them. You can weave in the round, in a circle. And again, look at this flower. You can keep it as open like this, or you can keep it closed. Just move those petals together and the flower will stay like this if you want it this way. And you can sew to this in the middle pearl or bubble or bottom. Decorate it the way you like. Enjoy!